Hi again, everybody. In this video, I will be showing you the differences between the simple past and the present perfect. These are two popular ways to talk about the past in English. So in this video, I will be showing you how to form these tenses and when to use them. I'll do my best to keep the explanations simple. So let's begin with the simple past. The simple past is formed by adding ed to the verb. For example, play becomes played. Watch becomes watched. Now this applies to regular verbs in English, and about 90% of the verbs in English are regular. For the irregular verbs, you just have to learn them a little bit at a time. Some examples: the past of go is went. We don't say goed. The past of drink is drank. Now, we use the simple past when talking about actions or states that happened before. It could be this morning, it could be last night, it could be last year, it could even be a few seconds ago. It's also important that when you use the simple past, that it is clear to the other person when the action happened. Also, the action has to be completed, finished. So when I say, for example, last night I watched a TV show, the action happened before, we know when, last night, and the action is completed. I am not watching this TV show now. Another example with an irregular verb: last weekend I ate a pizza with my father. Again, it's something that happened before. We know when, last weekend, and the action is completed. I am not eating a pizza with my father right now. So that's when we use the simple past. Now let's talk about the present perfect. Now some of you might be asking, why are you saying the present perfect when you're talking about the past? Well, that is because when you form the present perfect, you are using the present of the verb have. That is why we call it the present perfect. Now let's have an example with the verb visit. The present perfect of the verb visit is I have visited. You have visited. He has visited. She has visited. It has visited. We have visited. They have visited. So it's simply the present of the verb have plus the past participle. It looks a little bit like the French passé composé. Now, in fast speech, we often use the contracted or abbreviated form of this tense. For example, instead of saying I have visited, we would say I've visited. You have visited becomes you've visited. He has visited becomes he's visited. She's visited. It's visited. We've visited. You've visited. They've visited. You can actually choose either one, but a lot of the times we use the contracted or short form of this tense. Now, if you don't quite understand what's the second part of this tense, well, that is the past participle. Yes, English too has a past participle. The good news is regular verbs in English form the past participle with just adding ed. The same thing as for the simple past. If we take our example visit, well, the past participle is visited. Now for irregular verbs, you have to, unfortunately, learn the past participles by heart. a little bit at a time by reading, listening to people, checking the dictionary, the same thing as learning your irregular simple past. It's a question of practice. So now you know how to form the present perfect. When do we use it? Well, we use the present perfect when we're talking about actions in the past, but we don't know when the action happened. For example, I've visited Toronto. We know that I visited Toronto in the past, but was it yesterday? Was it last summer? We don't know when in the past. That is why I said I've visited Toronto. Another time we use the present perfect is when the action started in the past and the action is still happening now. For example, oh no, I misplaced my keys. I've misplaced my keys. So I lost my keys in the past. It could be like 5 or 10 minutes ago. And I still don't know where my keys are. So to keep it simple, we use the simple past when the action in the past is completed, finished, and we know when the action happened. And we use the present perfect when the action happened in the past, but we don't know when, or the action started in the past and is still happening now. So I hope this is clear for you. If not, you can replay this video, or you can also find more information on internet. So good luck with all of this, and I wish everybody, as usual, a nice day. Take care.